So Josh Hart returns with a vengeance to the lineup as he helps the Knicks get a win during a tough stretch where they lose 5 out of their last 6. Of course, we got some trade rumors, and we actually got actual trade possible news in the fact that Pacome Dadier and Yabusele are officially on the trade block. The NBA Cup curse does exist. Like I said, these Knicks had a crazy slide from prominence. Landry Shamet, we got a new update in terms of when he will return. Man, listen, we got a lot to talk about, from word on the street. We got power rankings and much more on this episode of This Week Inside the Knicks. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Karan Pierre, the Objective fan, and I'm straight out of Kings County, New York City's finest. And you know the vibes, man. Yo, tell a friend, we are live. Welcome to the show. This is This Week Inside the Knicks. Back after a 2-week hiatus. I had to make some changes to the This Week Inside the Knicks.com website, so it's under construction. So right now we are on Substack. Of course, the Linktree / the Objective Fan, the link to that is in the chat. The link should also be in the description, but so you can go to the Substack. That's where we are. Go follow me on Substack. Same name, the Objective Knicks Fan. That's where we'll be headed. That's where this podcast blog will be hosted at now, on Substack, so you can get all of the news for the week. And of course, we'll be covering all the news that took place between January 5th through the 11th. And this is episode 10. So definitely an action-packed week. I mean, we did a lot of new content, a lot of new shows, right? The Blue and Orange Breakfast Show, that was recently released. That's coming back on Wednesday. We also dropped Knicks Nocturnal, which is a late-night show. That'll be coming back Tuesday. We brought back the post-game call-up, so, definitely continue to smash that like button and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Let me say what's up to some of the people in the building. I see my man J-Tap Mob. Salute to you. HRM the Great. Knicks Tape Mountain's Discord server, channel members, mods in the building early. My man Buzzer Beater, channel member, I see you early. J-Tap, let's go. And J-Tap said, I'm here for the double big, don't work. But the double big works if they don't start. Salute. The reason why it works when they don't start, first off, they don't run it a lot, and two, they play better apart. So I know J-Top doesn't like that, but salute to you, man. Definitely, we're going to start the show off. I think today is the last day that we can vote. So we definitely going to vote. And I'll talk more about some of the other announcements later on, but let me get my browser up. 2 seconds, and so we can get into our Substack, and that's where we're going to be at from now on. We're gonna get we're gonna connect on Substack. So definitely, like I said, once again, the Objective Knicks Fan on Substack. You can go see the latest episode. I know I did the last 3 episodes was on episode 3. But it's all good. It's all good. So here's where we are. This episode features everything between the 5th to the 11th, and I'm just gonna take you down. Now I just realized something. Hopefully I can see the whole article. I know I'm not logged in, but if I can't, then I'll have to pivot and I have to adjust. But what I'll do is I'll start with some of the special highlights. This brother Dink Pate. I forgot to reach out to Mellow Mike. I think I did speak to him in a comment because he was talking about something, but I don't think he responded. Dink Pate, he's definitely putting in some work. He's catching fire, right? So in 40 minutes of the team, he played all 40 minutes against Stockton Kings, and he shined bright. he took 14 3-point shots and made 8 of them. Okay, career high for the teenager in his third G League season. Okay, he made 2 of his 3 shots, 2 of his 3 attempts from inside the arc, and also allowed 4 rebounds and 5 assists. If you don't know who Dink Pate is, he's our 6'8" phenom that's been torching the G Leagues. Unfortunately, when I went to go see him play, I only went there one time. He didn't look too good. I'll keep it real with you. He just didn't look like maybe he was just a bad night, But apparently he's definitely been performing as of late. He's been making some news, and he caught fire in his last game. So I just wanted to give him a big time salute, and salute to everybody that goes to Westchester. Let me keep it moving. So that's Dink Pate. And then of course I didn't do a pod since before Christmas time, so I do want to give a highlight to Mikal giving everybody for Christmas Rolexes, all his teammates. That's fire. Damn. I wish I could have a friend like that could give the whole team Rolexes. So nice gesture by Mikal Bridges, and everybody was happy to receive their Rolex, man. And I think Josh Hart and Brunson talked about it on the Roommate podcast as well. And then of course we didn't talk about this too. Because we didn't do a show last week, but Jalen Brunson was named Eastern Conference Player of the Month in December. I actually have a video that I'm going to drop, if not tonight, tomorrow, talking about the significance of his Eastern Conference Player of the Month award. He definitely deserved it. I know Jaylen Brown tried to throw some shade, but in the month of December, he averaged 30 points, 7 assists, 40% shooting from 3. Fire. So big time salute to the captain for making it happen in the month of December. Okay. So once again, we're on Substack. If you want to check out all of the articles, some things that we won't read, some things that we will read, you can do so by going to Substack and following me, The Objective Knicks Fan. And each week, this is where the blog will be hosted once again. Okay. So I'm going to jump into some stories of the week, and then I'll do the Knicks rundown. Now, I'm not going to go through all these articles. As you can see, a lot happened this week. As usual, a lot of things happen. But I want to talk about this really quickly. The NBA Cup curse is alive and well. Now, I initially thought that we avoided the cap curse, right? And, I'm not saying that you have to be superstitious. I'm not really superstitious. But there has been a trend that has taken place since the cup has been launched by the NBA, where teams have slid after they won the championship, right? So we beat San Antonio on December 16th, and then we beat the Pacers. We lose to Philly, beat Miami because the hate for them is always strong, but then we lose to Minnesota, beat Cleveland, beat Atlanta, beat New Orleans. I thought at this point in time we were good. Boy, was I wrong, because then we lost 4 straight, and then we've been in a 500 win-lose ever since. Let me show you about the cap curse. The cup curse, and how it usually impacts teams. Right? So, New York Knicks are living the stat that no one wants right after the win. Jalen Brunson remains steady. Yes, Jalen Brunson, he continues to perform. I don't think he scored under 20 points in like 15 games or something like that. Something crazy like that. But this idea feels unavoidable. Of course, the NBA, those teams that win tend to feel a drag, right? And the Knicks have won only 5 of their last 11 games, as I showed you during that stretch, right? The sharpest punch came against the Detroit Pistons, of course. And the NBA Cup curse has a simple shape: win it and then wobble. The Lakers went 3-7. Yeah, they fell off the map. The Bucks went 5-5 after beating OKC. Now the Knicks have gone 5-5 in 10 games after lifting the trophy. Listen, I said this before, and I just want to reiterate it. Now, I don't want to make it seem like I'm capping and I'm making excuses for this team. I mean, we lost fair and square. I don't do the injury excuse thing, unless I'm trying to like mess with someone in an argument, because I know that a lot of people use that as a crux and they try to act like they don't. So I set traps for them like I did the Miami Heat fan. By the way, go check out that Miami Heat fan video. It's a classic. All right. You could go, it's the most recent video upload. Right after this, go check it out. But, you know, this has been something that's plagued every team. So it's not a scenario where we're trying to act as though, you know, this didn't happen, right? This happened, right? And it's happened to all three teams that's won it. I think that the league needs to make an adjustment and make it so that the team who wins, you get a bye the next game. You know, so that way now you could rest a little bit. I know it's not everything, but why do the losing team? Some of these guys got 6 days off, 5 days off, you know? And so that's an unfair advantage, especially for a championship that's considered to be a consolation prize. So, yeah, the NBA Cup curse has impacted the Knicks. No excuses, though. I don't play the excuse game. We got cooked, and that's what it is. All right. So let me continue. Talked about the curse. I'm gonna go all the way down. There's a lot of news here. I mean, I'll go through some of it through the rundown. I'll do the rundown, but if you want to see more, all you got to do is go to Substack. Okay. So of course, then we got news about this here that Gershon Yabusele, Pacome Dadier availabilities ahead of the deadline. Now we all knew that these brothers were going to be traded, right? We all had a idea that, yeah, they're out of here because Yabusele, you know, he was touted as the steal of the offseason. I told y'all to pump the brakes, you know, because your expectations don't really matter in the grand scheme of how the future plays out. And when the future plays out, I don't want to hear you say that a person underachieved based on your prediction. Your prediction can never be better than what the future is going to unfold, right? So Gershon Yabusele didn't cut the mustard in New York. Doesn't mean he's a bad player. Doesn't mean he can't go somewhere else and kill it. But he's going to have to get the stepping, and we're going to see what team takes that bait. I know they're trying to probably package him and Pacome together to see if maybe they could sneak away a guy like a Sadiq Bey or something like that. But I'm curious to see exactly what they can get back. I want Sadiq Bey bad, right? I don't know if that's what Leon wants, but if he can get Sadiq Bey or even the kid Keon Ellis, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that later. But man, but yeah, we kind of knew these guys were gonna be out of here. You know, when I seen this, I was like, okay, tell me something I don't know. Tell me something I don't know. You know, it is what it is. Let me keep it pushing. Then we get news about Landry Shamet as well, and this would be my last news I go over. So Landry Shamet, his injury takes a new exciting turn. So in the shoulder timeline, he's been sidelined since November 22nd when he suffered a right shoulder sprain during a collision with the Orlando Magic center, Wendell Carter. Oh, guys, I'm glad we don't got no more games against the Magic. Every time somebody gets hurt, the injury occurred just as Shamet was experiencing a career resurgence with the Knicks, averaging 9.3 points per game. When we get to Josh Hart, no worries. I'm gonna talk about Josh Hart a little bit later, why I do think we have evidence and proof that the slide was because of him. But you could also argue that Shamet, his presence was missing off the bench, even though he did also start some games too, but more so with what he brought when he came in the game as somebody who could defend and shoot the three ball. But the good news was the injury was not severe, right? It wasn't a dislocation. It was a sprain. And he expressed confidence in his recovery process during a recent appearance, noting that he is progressing ahead of schedule. Okay, and starting rehabilitation exercise earlier than anticipated. So what this means, the clearance for controlled contract is a major milestone in his recovery. That means he's near. Just like I think Josh Hart was cleared for recovery maybe 2 days ago. and then boom, he's back. I did know for the Sacramento game, he is a game time decision. He was a game time decision also for this this game against the Trailblazers, but then he was ruled out. He wasn't a game time decision for most of the day. He was ruled out as well. Okay, but yeah, we definitely missing Landry Shamet. The bench has, suffered since his absence, and not just his absence, just everybody's absence from Hart. Guys in and out of the lineup, and he's also 6'4", and believe it or not, one of our bigger guards. Nonetheless, he's somebody who I think will bring us back to the level of depth and production that we've seen early on from this Knicks bench. This Knicks bench is way better than a lot of people think and give us credit for. And before I look into the chat briefly, I'm going to go take a quick commercial break.
Real question. Do you actually know basketball or do you just watch it? Because most fans watch games and talk, but they're not breaking anything down. No tracking, no documentation, no real analysis, just reactions and baseless opinions. 82 Nights changes that though. Over 200 pages to analyze what you're watching, track rotations, break down patterns, highlight players, take actual notes. That's how you go from someone who watches to someone who knows. That's how your basketball IQ levels up. Link in chat, hardcover or soft, stop guessing, start documenting today.
Go get yours now, the 82 Nights of Basketball. The official basketball intelligence system. You can get it on Linktree. Everything that I got going, you can find it on Linktree. You don't got to go no further. You could either type out the URL that's below, or you can go to the website. And what I'll do right now, I'm going to take you guys there so you guys could see how Linktree looks if you hadn't been there. Okay, so once you go to Linktree, this page will pop up. All right. Bam. And you can see everything there. The 82 Nights official basketball intelligence system, the merch, the Substack, all the other social media links, the super chat link. By the way, if you want me to read a message, all you got to do is go to the Linktree, send a super chat, man. And you could do all that from Linktree. I just wanted to give you a visual of how Linktree looks. I like it because one thing I had before I started using Linktree, I had stuff all over the place. And people will always ask me, how do I find this stuff? And I'm pointing them here, 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 when I could just point them there. And you can do everything from this one central location. So I love Linktree, and my Linktree is the Objective Fan. Go check it out now or towards the end of the show. Just make reference that you can access the Linktree. It's the best way to get everything that I have going on. All right. So I'm going to take a peek into the chat. J-Tap says that'll take away from the little legitimacy the Cubs actually has right now. But J-Tap, what are we really gaining? We don't get a banner. I know you was on the side of the banner, but it's like, what are you really gaining? It's if you go 5-5, that hurts you. It's not like you getting the Cup championship and that matters to people. No, it doesn't. So, it's something that we need to consider. And see who else is in the building. Salute to everybody that's in the building. I appreciate you. I see you, Randall, in the building. My man Chris Gotti. Salute to y'all, right? I'm gonna keep it going. Got a lot of topics. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do this. I said we was gonna do this first. Let me do this now. Today is the last day to vote. All right. So we're gonna go to NBA.com. And we're going to get our votes in. Bam. Okay, damn, my votes. That's weird. Oh, you know what it was? I selected my stuff already, but either way, it's here. Okay, so boom, you just hit submit. Bam, you're done. Submit votes. Easy peasy. Boom, I voted for the starting five. All right, simple. Go get your vote on now. I think this is the last day. Let's see. It says vote again. I'm confused. I thought today was the last day. I don't know. They're saying I could vote again in 4 hours. I ain't gonna lie. I be spamming the system. I got like 3 NBA accounts, just for the record. So I don't remember when the last time I did what. But yeah, just take advantage of that, y'all. All right. So let me keep it pushing. I'm gonna do the Knicks the rundown, and just really quickly highlight all the news for the week. If there's anything you hear me run down that you didn't read, you can go right here to Substack, okay? And all the articles are there. Okay, so James Dolan's detailed why he fired Tom Thibodeau, right? And he also said that he was not aware of any Giannis trade talks. James Dolan said that the Knicks can win the NBA Finals as constructed. Okay. James Dolan also explained why the Knicks won't hang an NBA Cup banner. Unfortunately, the Knicks got blown out by the Pistons to lose their 4th straight game. Mike Brown, he breaks down the next challenge after losing 4 in a row. The Knicks guaranteed Trey Jemison to a 2-way contract. They also guaranteed Kevin McCullough Jr.'s contract. They also guaranteed Landry Shamet's contract. And of course, Tosan, don't ask me to say his last name, got cut. Let's see what else I got here. Also, Knicks make a decision on Ariel Hukporti to also extend, keep his contract remaining for the season. He was on a partially guaranteed deal. Now it's fully guaranteed. Big time salute to Ariel. Giannis Antetokounmpo says, I'm not going to ever request a trade to anywhere. I mean, he was capping, but we did a show on that. Go watch that might have been the first Knicks Nocturnal show. One of the things you could do on my channel, I put everything into a playlist. So if there's a show you like, you go to the playlist and you could go listen to all of those shows. I think that was the first episode. And I pretty much told y'all it was cap. Miles McBride scored 16 points in his first start back in the lineup against the Clippers in the win. Josh Hart, and then that win against the Clippers snapped the 4-game losing streak. Josh Hart made his triumphant return against the Portland Trailblazers. We'll talk about that more in a second, and why I believe that Josh Hart is the difference maker for this team. Of course, the Phoenix Suns capped the victory against the Knicks by Royce O'Neal's clutch 3. Mitchell Robinson, when asked about his contract, he says that's what you got an agent for when discussing his extension. OG Anunoby cashed out on 4 threes, and the Knicks 4-game snapping, the win that snapped the 4-game losing streak against the Clippers. Danny Avdia, who they call Turbo from Israel, that brother let me tell you something. He runs so fast. He left the Knicks game with a back injury that he says was ailing him or previously. And Miles McBride, his starting reign has came to an end now that Josh Hart is back, as he came off the bench against the Portland Trailblazers. And that's all. If you want to read more about this stuff, you can go check it out in the Knicks Stories of the Week in this Substack article, okay? As far as the Pistons game review, I'm not going to touch on that because we did a post-game call-up show. All of the games we did post-game call-up shows for. It was a tough loss, and we'll be all right. We'll be all right. We ain't worry about that. It's one game. Oh, and if you didn't get a chance to check it out, check out that video I did. I got into a huge debate with a Pistons fan as well. That's also in the video section of this channel. Pretty entertaining if you didn't get a chance to see it. All right. I want to talk about this. I'm in the Smoking Hot Topic section. There's an article here that says the Knicks have the perfect opportunity to win the Eastern Conference. And I feel like going through the 4-game losing streak, it really took the focus away from some of us Knicks fans. we felt like this team wasn't good enough. I mean, I heard people say, yeah, like we suck and all these things. And I'm like, man, it's just a regular season. Like, I'm hard on the Knicks. Yes, I am. I still think that we have the best shot to go to the finals. But are we the best team in the East right now? It's hard to say. Because Detroit has been performing better in the regular season. But in the playoffs, when I think about the postseason, somebody called, I'm mad, I don't remember who called and said it. He said, did the Knicks look like they can contend for a championship in the Cup game? I think that was my man Gino from Brooklyn. He said, did the Knicks look like they were contending? I said, yeah, they did. He said, so, they're going to go through their ups and downs. So what they lost, those games. The bottom line is we're just trying to make it into that postseason. We get all our horses available in the postseason. I realistically don't think nobody could beat us. I don't give a damn. And look, let me tell you this. Salute the Daily Knicks. I don't give a damn that the Pacers are out of the mix. I don't care. Right? It is what it is. I honestly, I prefer to beat people when they're at their best. I don't wish injuries and I don't delight in people getting hurt because now, it's going to be the excuse. And I hate excuses, especially injury excuses, right? So Mike Brown, definitely, I would say the hiring has been a success. Don't look at last year's record and the pace between last year and say, well, that team is better than this year. It's a lot of ups and downs in the season. That last year's team didn't have an NBA Cup championship. I mean, right now, the NBA Cup championship is not highly regarded. But at the same time, that team doesn't have that, right? It didn't really have the Vegas curse the way this team did. Last year's team didn't go to Vegas, right? Last year's team had a nice little break in between the NBA Cup knockout round. So, yeah, when you're looking at that, and I'm going to talk more about that. I do got a Knicks in 10 show I'm doing probably Friday. So trust me, I'm going to go through all of that. And it's so funny, like, that we got a game against Sacramento. That I call that a point differential special, meaning that the Knicks have an opportunity to boost their differential because they're playing against a bad team. But anyway, I'll talk more about that when I do the Knicks in 10 show. I agree with Daily Knicks. The East is for the Knicks to lose. When you go back to the postseason experience, every single starter we have has experience. I don't really remember what Jordan Clarkson's playoff experience was like. I think he's been there before. If not, doesn't matter. He's just one guy. And who knows? He might not even be on the goddamn team, to be honest. The way Leon Rose operates, you just never know. But Gershon Yabusele definitely won't be here. So everybody else in the Knicks rotation, they all got playoff experience. So we got a team that has the most experience. Because Boston, they got a whole bunch of new guys. Yeah, they got the Browns and the Pritchards and the Whites, right? They got but the rest of these guys, Gonzalez and Minot and what's the other guy's name? Walsh. There's another guy too. Those guys don't got no playoff experience. Right? So and it's a lot of that, right? The Magic first round, they ain't been past the first round. Cleveland Cavaliers, they ain't been past the second round. Right? So when you look at us against all of the teams in the East, I feel like the edge is the experience. And I think experience matters. And the fact of the matter is that usually the team that makes it to the Eastern Conference Finals and loses makes it to the finals the following year. That's been the trend for like the past 4 seasons. And I don't see that I don't see that ending this year. I think that we continue that trend. All right. How are we on time? We good. I'm going to talk about some trade stuff, and then I'm going to jump in the flagship, okay? We're going to get into the Josh Hart stuff. I know that's why a lot of you guys are here. This is This Week Inside the Knicks, episode 10. And, we talk about a wide variety of topics, but our flagship topic is the Josh Hart topic. And definitely, as you enter the building, make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. And if you are a subscriber, consider joining the channel. If you have a message you would like me to break down to add and contribute to the conversation, feel free to hit the link tree, send a super chat, and I'll get on it. Let me see exactly where I want to go with the trades. So this is somebody who I talked about on the Orange and Blue Breakfast Show on Friday. Keon Ellis is somebody that's highly regarded right now on the trade market. It was reported that the Sacramento Kings are willing to accept a late first round pick for Keon Ellis. And as James L. Everett says in this article as well, they source him. And salute to my man Fritz. He said that, hey, he had an idea for us to get a late first round pick by pretty much giving Wizards back their pick. I know some of y'all don't like that, but there's no guarantees you get the pick. But if you can get that pick and trade it for a Keon Ellis and then make that other move because you got Yabusele there and you know, get whatever size guy, whether it be Sadiq Bey or whoever it is you want, you know, it's moves that make sense. I know Keon Ellis is a guard, but he's a bigger guard than anyone we got. He's 6'5". So if we get Keon Ellis, he's the biggest guard on the team next to Clarkson. And he defends 94 feet like Deuce. You know, and he shoots the three ball. You know where I'm at right now? Because people have asked this question. There's a guy who always calls up the show and asks, do I think that Brunson and Towns, are they a formidable duo that could win the championship? I'm going to say this. I'm beginning to lean to, you have to have a team where everybody else plays defense. Like, okay, you got Towns and Brunson. It's not that they don't play defense. They're kind of liabilities and spots on defense. So I need everyone else to be really good good defenders. So that way I can cover and hide. I can continuously cover and hide Brunson and Towns and their shortcomings. Keon Ellis, he makes that a strong, you know, he gives you that. So you know, that's just where I see it. I like this guy. And oh, by the way, salute to my man Fritz on the NBA economy. I will be on there on Wednesday, and we're gonna be talking about some trade ideas, 6 trade ideas that we feel the Knicks should do. Right. And this might be one of my trades, but I'll probably come up with some 3 new ones because I talked about this before. But I like the prospects of getting this kid. The Lakers, I think, have a first-round pick, so the Lakers are a threat to get him. Because the Lakers don't got to do a move to get a first-round pick. They got the pick. But the question is, do the Lakers even want him? You know, I feel like the Lakers are a walking accident waiting to happen, but that's a whole nother topic. And, you know, like, salute to the former NBA guys. And salute to Isaiah Thomas. I know it didn't end well in New York at all. Scandals and all types of stuff. But, you know, anybody who came to New York and tried to help us in some type of way, I always try to give them a salute unless they, you know, dissed us or something like that. I know Isaiah Thomas doesn't see himself as a Knick. Why would he? I mean, it just was a complete failure. But and I don't want to make it seem like I'm taking a shot at professional former players, right? But I think former players make the worst analysts overall. Because you know what? You know why I say that? They have a bias, one, right? They're either tied to a team, they're tied to players they got relationships with. They will never give you their genuine, honest feelings across the board. They'll do it against people they don't like, or they do it against people they don't care for. But if somebody has a relationship, you'll never get the full context or their truest feelings about how they feel about that person. And so Isaiah Thomas, I'm not saying he doesn't watch basketball. He's one of the greatest point guards of all time. But Zeke thinks that AD is the final piece for the Knicks. And I'm supposed to listen to this? AD? If the Knicks gave up OG Anunoby and Mitchell Robinson for AD, we would just be burying ourselves. Yes, granted, OG Anunoby and Mitchell Robinson are both have proven to be injury prone. I think AD is the king of the knick-knack, paddywhack injuries. Give me a bone because I'm going to get an injury that you never heard before. I'm going to get poked in the eye. I'm going to have an elbow fingernolis or something you never heard before. He always is getting injuries that it don't sound like a basketball player is supposed to be getting those injuries. And you want me to trade for him when he's making like $55, $57 million? Are you mad? And he's the final piece to the championship? See, this is what I'm saying. Like, it's a lot of logical fallacies. This is why it's hard to debate against me, because I set traps and I just call out logical fallacies. If AD was the final piece to a championship team, why would the Lakers trade him? Just saying. Why would, like, if he was that dude, that's the final piece. Gotta stop, bro. Let's see. I think there are 4 teams in the East. If they make a trade for AD, they'll become the favorite. And if New York pulls the trade for AD, I mean, he swings the balance very similar to when Rasheed Wallace was traded from Atlanta several years ago. Yeah, let me tell you the difference. When Detroit got Rasheed Wallace, they still had Ben Wallace. They still had Tayshaun Prince. They still had Rip Hamilton. They still had Chauncey Billups. That's a win. It's not like we get AD and we still going to have Mikal Bridges. We still going to have OG Anunoby. We still going to have Jalen Brunson. No, because you're going to have to trade 1 or 2 of them for him. He doesn't know what the hell he's to. Let me be respectful. I'm telling you, the former NBA players, most of them, they don't know what the hell they talking about, because I know they don't watch that much basketball. I really don't. I know it. What the hell's he talking about? Are y'all co-signing this? Davis trade is far from reality. Thomas says that Thomas wouldn't immediately transform the Western Conference team's championship hope, citing the Denver Nuggets superstar and the entire Oklahoma City roster as major impediments to any title chases. I disagree. If we got Giannis, we would be the favorite to win the championship. 100%. 100%. Now, Giannis, he's somebody I'm willing to trade a OG and a Mitch for. I'm not trading OG and Mitch for AD, who ain't going to be there. I'm not doing that. Not doing that. But for Giannis, yeah, I'll do a Towns. Yeah, but I'm not doing that for AD. Come on, yo. Stop. He is not the final piece to no championship rights. Please stop. But I disagree with the Nuggets and being yeah, especially if you're not considering San Antonio, right? You're not considering Houston. I know they had some trouble, but Sengun is out. Not that we make injury excuses, but I think Houston is way better than what they've been playing recently. But yeah, I just had to tap on that. I'm sorry I spent so much time there, but it kind of just made me sick. I'm gonna keep it real. It made me sick. I try to be respectful, but he thinks that we should go trade for AD. Like he's still first team. You know, you got to get a first teamer. Giannis is a first team. AD, what team is he on? He's on the all injured team. Stop it. And then this would be the last trade, and I'm gonna get into Josh Hart. Could the Knicks swap Gershon Yabusele for the Clippers veteran? What say you? Do you? Yo, why in these trades they want to make us an old ass team? Can you explain that to me? Why in these trades do they want to make us an old ass team? The Knicks could swap Gershon Yabusele for Clippers veteran. Are y'all doing this? Do y'all really want Nick Batum? What is Nick Batum going to do for us? Granted, I mean, he can shoot the 3-ball, but Yabusele can shoot the 3-ball. I mean, okay. I mean, is his defense still there? I don't think so. Nick Batum can't guard nobody of substance. What are we getting? Now, if this was like 5 years ago, oh, I'm down. Oh, hell yeah. But nah, this is Nick Batum of this year. Nick Batum ain't doing nothing. right? Like, all right, here's the thing, right? Here's the caution. See, the NBA is about politics, right? And also, usually, I'm not gonna say usually, I'm gonna say a lot of the times when a player is traded, there's a problem. Now, it doesn't mean that the player is a bad player, but you have to consider, okay, the player that you're going to get and how they're going to fit with your team. The best trade of the season, if you ask me, I think the Trae Young trade is the best trade for Washington. I think they made the best trade of the season. You get Trae Young, who is a star in this league, for relatively nothing. Now, Trae Young was not traded. Here's the major key. Trae Young was not traded because he's cooked. See that? He was not traded because he was cooked. He was traded because of politics and money. And the Hawks did not want to pay him. So Washington said, we'll take him. So you got to look at that. The guys who I want via trade, they all young. Most of them are 6'9". And some of them, a lot of them, got contract issues. Like Tari Eason with Houston, there's a contract issue. He's not cooked. He's not injury prone. Houston and him can't agree on the bag. Okay, yeah, I think I'll take that call. It's that simple. Sadiq Bey. Is Sadiq Bey cooked? Looks like a mini Julius Randle to me. The Pelicans have too many forwards, bro. Too many. What do? Let's offload one of them and let's maybe get a guard. Or let's get something else we need. Maybe we get Mitchell Robinson. Not that we're going to trade Mitchell. Please relax. I'm just saying for an example purpose, okay? I'm not saying that I'm trading Sadiq Bey for Mitch. Realistically, I wouldn't trade. I'm still on the side, believe it or not, Nick Shack, and to all the Mitchell Robinson people, I am on the side of keeping Mitchell Robinson. Can I get a salute? Hold on. Let me give a salute to myself for that. Hold on. I know the Mitchell Robinson people, y'all going to be happy for that. I'm still on that side. I ride with Mitchell Robinson. I ride with Mitchell Robinson off the bench. That's it. That's all I'm saying. That's it. He's good off the bench. Double big off the bench. Beginning of second and fourth quarters. That's it. I'm cool with it. Don't start it. It doesn't work. Josh Hart is a starter. We're going to get to that next. By the way, J-Tap, I see the comment. You think because I ain't looking in the comment, J-Tap. I see that. He said, no, you're not. I know J-Tap's just messing with me. I know. And then why, hold on. Maxine, who's the pessimistic? Hold on, Maxine, who's the pessimistic? I'm confused. Anyway, nonetheless, let me keep it moving. All right. Before I get to flagship, I'm gonna play another commercial, man. I see you on the other side.
Most basketball fans watch games and talk loud, but they're not really seeing anything. They're reacting. They're repeating what they heard. They're not analyzing. They're not breaking it down. You want to be different? 82 Nights. Over 200 pages where you document what you actually see. Break down rotations, track patterns, game to game, highlight the players making moves. When you put it on paper, you start seeing what actual fans miss. Your predictions improve, your insights get sharper, your basketball understanding jumps. You stop sounding like everyone else and you start speaking from knowledge. That's what this channel is about. That's what 82 Nights is about. Link in chat, elevate your game now.
I want to give a big salute to the lovely Maxine for doing a wonderful commercial. Definitely go check it out. 82 Nights, the official basketball intelligence system. You can go right to the link tree, which is on the screen and in the chat and in the description. And when you get there, it'll look something like this. Bam. And everything I have on the channel, you can see the hard cover, the soft cover, everything is right there on the link tree. Okay. So linktree/the objective fan. You could go there now and go get you a journal, man. I do appreciate it, man. do appreciate it. Y'all dudes be acting like in the chat, I don't be seeing you talk your talk. Let's see, Buzzer Beater said Double Bigs has never worked in New York, going back to Bill Cartwright and Patrick Ewing. Damn. Did you have to hit them there, Buzzer Beater? That's a hard shot. My phone is dead. But yeah, salute to everybody in the chat. Let me just get my phone back on. I'm gonna need it. I do appreciate all you guys' support, all right? So I'm gonna jump into Josh Hart. Josh Hart. Do I got the flagship here? I don't think I got it there. Okay, no problem. So Josh Hart, his triumphant return to the lineup. Yo, honestly, man, maybe Brunson. When Brunson misses 2 games, I mean, it's 2 games, so I can't even count Brunson. But I don't think I've seen someone, maybe besides Brunson, have a good game like that. Like literally look like they never left after a long, extended time away from the rotation. I don't think I've seen that from this group of Knicks, right? And because it took OG a while. Like, OG didn't get back to himself. And OG still ain't back to himself at times. Like, one night he'll drop 25. The next night he'll drop 6. And you won't even think about him. Like, OG Anunoby's not even a thought. So, Josh Hart being able to do what he did. I listened to the Roommates podcast. I talked about it on the Blue and Orange Breakfast Show, which come on Fridays and Wednesdays right now. Those are the 2 set days in the morning time around 8:30. I talked about how Josh Hart, I'm not sure if I said it on the show, but we talked about that podcast. But I remember in the pod, he was saying, I bring the energy and the intensity. The energy and the intensity. And that's exactly what he did in that Portland game, right? Because I ain't gonna lie, I think the Portland game exemplifies exactly what Josh Hart brings to the table. What sparked this topic was Yuri from the Knicks Day Matters Discord server. Salute to Yuri. He always talked about Josh Hart. Josh Hart, Josh Hart, Josh Hart. And then and then a couple other people too talking about Josh Hart, right? Oh, his impact, we're missing him. I'm like, yo, I don't give a damn about no excuse. Y'all know me. I don't want to hear no injury excuse. I don't want to hear we lost because of Josh Hart. I'm not really going in that direction. I'm not trying to make that capping excuse. But it's not only Josh Hart that has caused us to lose. I'm trying to find this article. I don't know what I did with it. I'm going to find it. But the NBA Cup curse has also played a role as well. I give credence to the Cup curse. Now, I'm not using it as excuse, but if the Lakers went 3-7 and the Bucks go 5-5 and we go 5-5, I mean, that's all of the champion. Like, what more do I need to see? The NBA has to make an adjustment. Now, I found the article. And then I stumbled onto this article here. And it's a post article. And it talked about why Josh Hart's return could change everything for the Knicks. Deuce McBride said he's the heart and soul of the team from an energy perspective. McBride said, I bring a lot of energy. We got a lot of guys that do. But he's been doing it for so long, and we've all been able to use him as the nucleus. Salute to who is that called up? Damn, I'm so tight. On the post-game show for the Portland game, someone called up and said that Josh Hart should be the captain of the team. You know, I know he was making light of it, but when you think about it, you know, Josh Hart is the only one on the team that does what he does, which is everything. There's nothing that Josh Hart doesn't do. Now, he may not be as proficient as you want him to be. Like some of y'all might say, well, he's not that good of an on-the-ball defender, but you know he's going to give you the hard hustle and he's going to go hard every time. I take that any day of the week. Any day of the week. Whether he's shooting 1 for 15 from the field, which is crazy, he's still going to probably get 10 rebounds and 7 assists. He's the only person on the team that does that. No one else does that on the team. He's the only triple-double threat that we have on the team. No one else could sniff a triple-double. Towns tried. He tried. It was nice. He had his little season high. I think it was 7 assists. That was cool. But, man, here's the key that I wanted to get to, though. Mike Brown said he's the connector. He's a glue guy. There's a lot of things that we can do with him on the floor, on both ends of the floor, that he brings. Facts. So I wanted to show those quotes, and I wanted to go in from there. I start with the Portland game because this is the recent game. I'm not going to break down the game because I already did it, and I dropped a short. Go check it out. But for him to put up these numbers, 18, 7 of 5 shooting, 3 of 5 from 3. He only had 3 rebounds this game. Don't worry, he'll probably get 12 against Sacramento. 6 assists. He did have the 4 turnovers, but we live with it. I mean, when you're creating, you're going to turn over the ball. It's fine. This is his first game back. If you want to give him a demerit for that, okay, give him a demerit for that. That's fine. 2 steals, 1 block. I mean, he's just stuffing the stat sheet. He's everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like the intangibles that he brings that's not on the stat sheet, I mean, it makes a huge difference because he gets other guys going. Like, when he gets the rebound and he's going coast to coast. When Mike Brown said, I want to play fast in the half court, I didn't know what the hell that meant. I'm going to keep it real. I didn't. But watching Josh Hart, he is the best example that you could see of that. Because when he gets the rebound and he proceeds to truck it down the court, and sometimes you might get concerned because it's like 3 guys. What is he going to do? Then out of nowhere, he spins and does a layup. Or out of nowhere, he throws a pass to the corner. See, he helps get the shooters' shots from the corners fast. That's what Mike Brown said. I need to get this. When I say play fast, all I want is shooters in the corner fast. So when you see Mikal gets his little 5 points in the first quarter, and OG gets his touches in the first quarter, and every starter in this game had 5 points in the first quarter or more, that's because of Josh Hart. We all say, oh, man. Not all. Some of us, a lot of us say, oh, Brunson dribble. He does dribbles. Dribble. Well, guess what? Josh Hart takes away from the dribbles. Like, Josh Hart does little something. Let me tell you something subtle that he does, right? I truly believe that we haven't reached our peak yet offensively. But Josh Hart gives us the argument that we might have the best big 5 in the league. I'm talking about from an offensive standpoint of 5 guys that all get buckets. Now, OG is not the most polished game, but he's averaging 18 a game, believe it or not. Bridges, we seen him average 26. So we know Bridges could get buckets. Josh Hart, career high points was 16 a game. I don't think there's another starting 5 that has that much offensive firepower in it. Then you get 2 guys who career highs is like 60 points. Brunson 61. I think Towns was like 67 or something crazy like that. They could explode on you at any time. Josh Hart makes everything flow. He is the conduit for offense. Now I'm gonna get into some stats because you guys know I'm stat master Miyagi. So with Josh Hart, when he's in the starting lineup, right? Not just on the team, when he's in the starting lineup, the Knicks, of course, they still continue to sport their 3rd-ranked offense, right? That's with him as a starter. He's also, when he's there, the Knicks are also 14th in defense. Overall, now this is for the entire year, no matter who starts, the entire year. Knicks has been a 3rd offense overall, but they're 18th in defense. So somehow Josh Hart is impacting defensive rating, okay? So we're 3rd and 18th. But here is the major kicker. My major proof that Josh Hart is the difference maker. Without Josh Hart, the offense goes down to 9th. We're 9th ranked offense without Josh Hart. So you guys wonder why in this 4-game losing streak, the offense ain't looking the same. We're not getting the same buckets. We're not as dominant. We're not as efficient. All of that is Josh Hart helping be a glue guy. Not that Josh Hart is the bucket getter, so to speak, but he does everything else. He sets the screen for Brunson, so now Brunson gets big doofy clinging on him. That's basketball. We're going to attack the weak link all night. Yo, they've got clinging on you. Set that screen for me. Oh, my God. We're going to kill him on the roll. We're going to kill him. We're going to force that mismatch switch. I'm going to put the super duper crossover move on him. I'm going to get by. I'm going to get in the lane. Then I'm going to spray the 3 out for OJ. See, that's little subtle stuff that impacts winning that is not popular because it's not a stat in the stat sheet. This is why, 82 nights, I'm analyzing everything. So we go from 9th ranked offense to 29th in defense. Now, I'm not saying Josh Hart is the super duper defensive stopper, but Josh Hart's impact in defense, could it just be rebounding? Could it just be size? Because here's another thing too. I hope when Shamet comes back and now that Hart is back, we get rid of 3-point guards. Tyler Kolek, I love you, but you can't play. Sorry. We made a decision. We're going with veterans. We're going to play a tight 9-man rotation. Starter's going to get 34 minutes. We're going to give Deuce McBride 28 to 30-something minutes. And then everybody else, Mitch could get his 20, whatever. And everybody else, you get in where you fit in, Shaman and Clarkson. And that's the rotation. Mike Brown's getting rid of the wacky line. I'm telling you, them lineups is done, bro. You're not going to see the Diowaras and all these guys. You might see him in spot minutes, but he going to play a consistent 9. And that's how it should be. A 9-man rotation. I always loved Coach Tiz when he played 9. It's just that the problem is Coach Tiz would play 8 and then play Josh Hart 42 minutes and Mikal Bridges 40 minutes. That was the problem with Tibbs. He had the right idea, but he was just playing the guys too much. He didn't play the bench enough. He would play one guy, maybe Deuce McBride, 25 minutes, and the rest of those guys get 10 minutes. You're putting too much onus on the starters. So even though we look at this game, and this is essentially an 8-man rotation, right? Let me zoom out. This essentially, so you can see the names, right? This is essentially an 8-man rotation. But look at the starters' minutes. Brunson played more because he came in earlier in the 4th. But outside of that, 34, 31, 28, 34. So Josh Hart brings that to the table. The numbers show it. Then we talk about the 12-3 as a starter. A lot of you guys know that 12-3 as a starter. He just impacts winning, man. He really does. We just win with him there. And he's the best guard rebounder in the game, 6'5" and under. When the offense gets stagnant, he breaks up the monotony because he's going to take it and do something that no one else really does as well as he, which is attack and transition. Because remember, he gets the rebound. He's not passing it to Brunson. He's out of there. And I already talked about him getting the shooters in spots fast, like how Mike Brown wants it. He's the quintessential Mike Brown player. That's why Mike Brown apologized. I was wrong because whatever reason, you see this a lot. Like coaches try to do something different from what the last coach did. And, oh, I got to change up the lineup because Tibbs did that. No, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That wasn't the problem. James Dolan told us the problem. Coach Tibbs wasn't collaborative. He didn't listen to the players. The players felt like they were burnt out. But like one of the things we talk about is size, right? And, oh man, the lineup is small. We got to put OG at the 4. But one thing about Josh Hart, even though he's 6'4", 6'5", he's a big 6'4", 6'5". He takes the pressure off of Bridges. I am a little concerned about an Orlando Magic matchup when they got Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero. It's a little alarming, but realistically, on the offensive side of the ball, man, it's just Orlando is cooked. Suggs can't guard Brunson. Let's keep it real. And then now Wendell Carter, he's going to have to play defense with Hart on the floor. Because Hart, all they're going to do, they're going to put him and Brunson in pick and roll. The 2-5, the 4, the 1-2, the 1-4, wherever the hell Josh Hart position is, that pick and roll is, man, it's underrated. It's underrated because it always creates the mismatches. And yeah, I'm just happy with what I see from Josh Hart. I mean, there's more, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about it on the Knicks and 10 show. I'm going to go into some stats. Let me see what my man Jay tell you. Talking about the Raptors are horrible and the Pacers are old news. Yeah, I'm not sold on the Raptors. They're holding on from what I could. Hold on, let me see. From what I could remember about the Raptors, I think they are holding on, but I mean, their differential is what's telling. See the differential? I'm gonna talk more about that on Friday. But yeah. Like Maxine says, don't forget to subscribe, like the video. And if you are a subscriber, consider joining the channel. We got a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to go over that in a second to let you guys know the changes that I made to the membership. Let's see what else I got. I think I beat the Josh Hart in the head. I'm going to go into the power rankings and then word on the street. So power rankings is going to get tricky because, we lost some games. Of course, OKC #1. The Thunder moved up. The Pistons moved up from number 4 to number 2. San Antonio Spurs dropped 1 spot to the 3 spot. Boston Celtics move up from 7, and they did rightfully so. Houston, well, that's a good jump. That's a good jump. Yeah, they deserve it. Houston Rockets stays in the 5th spot. They've been sliding, by the way. And the Knicks dropped from 3rd to 6th. They dropped us. And I would say rightfully so. We lost 4 games in a row. So there's no way you could hold on to your spot. I actually respect the drop from ESPN. But as we know, we beat the Clippers and we beat Portland. I don't know how much grace that'll give us next week, but we'll see where we are in the rankings then. And then I'm gonna go I'm gonna talk about the channel memberships. Then we be up out of there. Who said you said they? Let me see, Buzzbeat. According to Tankathon, we had the 23rd hardest schedule. All other Eastern Conference contenders had tougher schedules. I mean, once again, how do you define? Okay. My problem with let me show you my problem with that thought process, right? Because when you look at the Detroit Pistons, right, and I know this is our arch rival. If you really want to look at it, they lost to a Clipper team. That's a bad loss. They beat a Chicago team that's not that good, right? They beat the Knicks. I'm not making excuses, but how do you factor in that we didn't have our glue guy, Josh Hart, who's the best 5th man in basketball? How do you factor that in? Do you factor that in or do you not factor that in? They beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, but the Cavaliers don't got Mobley. They don't got not Mobley. They don't got Allen. Right? You see that? So when you say that other teams have stronger schedules, I'm not sure if Detroit has it. I'm just using them as an example. Even if Detroit is playing harder competition, right? Or weaker competition, there's a story for every game. So I don't like the strength of schedule, especially as we go further into the schedule, because everybody got to play everybody, right? So yeah, you might have had a tougher stretch of games, but yo, people be resting players, people are tanking, people got injured. I mean, it's a lot going on. I don't really give a damn about strength of schedule, dog. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Let me show you something. This is what always is. Nothing beats this. All right, hold on. Nothing beats this. Differential. This what separates the boys from the men. I care more about differential than I do strength of schedule. Like, when I look at your team, like Toronto, you've been a top 4 seed and you can't get past 1.9 differential. You're not about that life. You're not about that life. That's all I need to see. I don't give a damn who they played. But they're not dominant. They're not. Same thing with Philadelphia. Because they got guys in and out of the lineup. One day Embiid plays, then he doesn't play the next day. Paul George, he's been a recent fixture in the lineup. But the Philadelphia 76ers have a lot of issues because they got guys out. It's hard for them to build on something. But this 1.7, I don't know about Philly. I'm not sold. The Orlando Magic 1.2, I know they don't got their best player. We're not trying to make the excuse. But facts are facts. They don't got their best player. They just got back the Wagner brother. So how do you rank it when everyone's full health? And everybody's full strength? And everybody's playing their best basketball? What if you going up against a team like Boston, who now are playing their best basketball, but earlier on, Boston wasn't playing good basketball? They wasn't. So how are you ranking strength of schedule? Like Chicago Bulls was like the #1 seed in the first 8 games. Chicago Bulls was killing it. They a 10th seed now. How does strength of schedule account for that? I digress. Before I get into the word on the street, I do want to talk to you guys about joining the channel. So I if you don't know, I updated the tiers. So because you guys, salute to all my channel members, from J-Tab to Buzzer Beater to HRM to Yuri to Crim's Dad, who I ain't seen in a minute. Salute to him. To everybody who I miss, Mellow Mike, New Day Entertainment, to all the channel members, right? If I forgot your, Empire J. How could I forget Empire J? Big time salute to Empire J. Salute to everybody. You guys are all hardcore Knicks fans, right? So I changed the tier to better reflect the fan base. So we got the hardcore Knicks fan and then the hardcore Knicks fan plus. Now, of course, you get the cool little badges so I know who you are. Easy to identify you. My man J-Tap Mob, he just said, "Where's Trevor?" I don't know. Hadn't heard from him in a minute. I don't know if that's because Mitchell Robinson's playing better. I don't know. But the reason why I was able to see his chat is because he's a channel member and you can see the stars, clearly, easily, right? So, it's a great way for me to identify who you are. So when I look for your comment, it makes it easier to find the priority reply to comment, because I respond to every single channel member comment that's posted on this channel. And, I get all types of videos. I do all types of content. I do content every single day. I go live damn near every single day. So there's always a piece of content that you want to get a piece of. And, when you join the channel, you get access to that. Of course, you get exclusive access to the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server, which is listed on the membership. One of the biggest differences. Of course, members get shouted out and members get discounts on everything, including the 82 Nights, the official basketball intelligence system. When you go to the link tree, all you got to do is put your code in as a member and you get your discount. So definitely subscribe to the channel, join the channel. And when you go to that hardcore plus side, we start talking about parlays. We connect more on social media. You get access to more lives, because I think I'm going to bring back the Parlay Builder lives. But you also get access to 100 Knicks stats, and you get a free callback on all the call-up shows. So if you're a call-up show dude and you want to call back, become a Hardcore Plus fan, and you save some money. So yeah, That's the channel packages, the Hardcore Knicks fans packages. Go check them out right now when you join the channel. On the way out, I just want to talk about a couple of, surveys that I done over the past week. I think I'm gonna start here. After last night's Pistons game, this was a real question. This was a real defining moment of the season. Do you guys still think the Knicks are the best team in the East? I'm going to say I didn't think so at this time. And I don't know how I feel about it now because the numbers are showing me that Detroit is better. But I still think in the postseason it won't translate. So out of the 303 votes, only 42% said yes. A resounding 58% said no, which is shocking to me because, usually Knicks fans are a little bit more, they have a little bit more faith in their team. But you lose 4 in a row, you lose to the best team with the best record, so to speak. It'll make you question everything, right? The Knicks have a deal on the horizon. What type of trade should they make? A big trade for a big star, trade for a starting caliber center, or trade for a backup player? I'm sorry, that's trade for a starting caliber player, not center. Honestly, I think the starting 5 is complete. So I'm not trading for a starter. The man's picture is in there, Giannis. I do want Giannis bad, but there's no guarantees we're going to get him. I'm going to say trade for a backup only because we're not going to get Giannis, and there's no other star to get. 51% says trade for a big star. 20% said trade for a starting caliber player, and 29% say trade for a backup. I think I'm with the trade for a backup. Like I love to get Sadiq Bey, who could be an OG Anunoby insurance policy. Even Atari Eason. I would love to do a trade for a guy of that caliber and that size. The Knicks have 6 more games in a row against West Coast teams. How many games will they win on this stretch? So right now, we only lost to Phoenix. We beat the Clippers. We beat Portland. I said 6-1. I'm sticking with my prediction. I think we're going to do 6-1. 15% says 6 or more. 21% say 5 or more. 51% says 4 or more. And 13% say below 500. Damn, y'all pessimistic, dog. 15%? That's crazy. Of course, this was the first Knicks Nocturnal show. We talked about Giannis. Yes, that was the Giannis show. Boston Celtics and the Knicks have the 2 best offensive ratings in the East. Ratings aside, which team is the better offensive team? 319 votes. I'm going to say the Knicks. 86% say the Knicks. 14% say the Celtics. As good as the Celtics are offensively, and they're pretty good, I think that the Knicks have better bucket getters. Like, Mikal could go get a bucket. Of course, Brunson and Towns could go get buckets. OG Anunoby could get buckets, though it don't look right all the time, right? Josh Hart could get a bucket when he's not looking to give everybody else shots. We know what Jordan Clarkson could do. We know what Deuce McBride could do. We know that Landry Shamet gives you 9. I think we got a lot of firepower. I think we got more guys that are capable of getting buckets on their own recognizance than Boston. Like, Boston got Jaylen Brown, they got Pritchard, they got White. Besides those 3, no one else gets their own bucket like that. It's a very system-oriented. Oh, Simons. I forgot. Simons, too. I would add him. Simons, Pritchard, White, and Brown. That's the only 4 bucket getters where they don't need the system to get a bucket. They could go get a bucket. I just think we have more guys that could do that. So I'm weighing that more. Now, Boston, to me, has the better system. No offense to Mike Brown, but what Joe Mazzulla is able to do with a bunch of dudes you've never heard of, hella impressive. I would have never thought Boston would be this good, nor would their offense be this good. I'm keeping it real. They got a good offense. Like it's not stat padding crap. No, they shoot good from the floor. They still put up a lot of threes. They're good on the offensive glass. You know, they're not a fast-paced team. They look for quality shots. Jaylen Brown gonna put you in the pick and roll every single time, and he's aggressive off the pick and roll. He's aggressive off the dribble more than I ever seen him before, and he's effective, averaging 30 points a game. I think he's top 3 in scoring. Yeah, Boston, they're really good offensively. And trust me, it took everything for me to admit that because I can't stand them. But at the root of who I am the objective fan. Last night's Knicks win probably would not have happened if Josh Hart hadn't returned to the lineup. Was his absence the cause of our recent poor performance, or would we still have been bad either way? I'm going to say yes, we needed him. 96% of the 184 votes said yes. Only 4% said we would have lost either way. You guys are just negative Nancy's. I do stuff like this on purpose sometimes just to keep it positive, man. But yo, I'm gonna give a big time salute to everybody for tuning in. Let me see. J Tamar said when OG drives to the rim, he looks like me when I'm stumbling in the dark after the night after drinking. Oh my God. Yeah, OG. It doesn't look the best, but he gets it done. And Buzzer Beater said I see 5-2. Big time salute to you, Buzzer Beater. Oh, Fritz, I see you in the house. NBA Economy. I will be on there on Wednesday. Let me see, my man. Let's see if anybody else. Who are those West Coast teams? Oh, the West Coast teams, really quickly on the way out, are on the way out. Let me pull it up. I did great on time too. This was like a really good time podcast. So I got it on my schedule, but I want to show y'all. I got a big calendar up there. But you got Sacramento, which is a wash. Golden State, which is, it's like, that Golden State game is it's going to be a problem. Then we got Phoenix again, but in the Garden. And then we got Dallas in the Garden. So realistically, I see us winning 3 of those 4 games. But I think, honestly, we could probably win all 4 of them, to keep it real with you. I'm just trying to be objective, but I wouldn't be surprised if we win 4 in a row. I'm going to keep it real. You know, so it's very possible because we're a really good home team. And so I just think that, Phoenix in the Garden, I'm taking us. That Golden State game is always tricky. And then, oh, by the way, that post-game show is going to be a late one, but Big Dog Talk Sports will be in the building. So, but yo, man, I want to give a big time salute for everybody rocking with me, all the channel members, all the subscribers, all the supporters. I do appreciate all of you. Just on the way out, let me just check something before I go. Because my phone was dead the whole time. And Maxine probably was sending me all types of messages. But I want to thank all of you guys for rocking with me. This is This Week Inside the Knicks. Once again, all of the articles I was reading off for today, if you didn't get a chance to see it, you can go to Substack, which, okay, let's start here. So when you go to my Linktree, which has everything, it has the Super Chat, it has the 82 nice, everything is on Linktree. I made it easy. All you got to do, go to Linktree, and everything I have is there. All the platforms, every single thing is in one central location, easy to find. So when you go to the Linktree, you go to Karan Pierce Substack. Bam, follow me on Substack, and you will be able to see the recent article that came out in regards to episode 3 of the, 10.3 of the This Week Inside the Knicks podcast. All right, so you can check that out there. All right, on the way out. So before I go, and once again, make sure you guys go vote. The final days are upon us. I don't remember when the final day is. I thought it was today, but it is what it is. And get the 82 Nights Journal as well, man. Okay, the official basketball intelligence system. All right, that's all I got for you guys, man. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be back, and be on the lookout for that Jalen Brunson Eastern Conference Player of the Month video. Is coming. And until next time, as always.